So I'm thinking of buying, but maybe the prices will keep dropping to the point where I'll get it for free. Or I don't think it's a good time to sell, but maybe I should. I'm confused. Should I wait? Should I sell now? What happens if I don't sell? These are all questions that are being asked in this very market. What's going on, everybody? My name is Rene and I run the real estate team here in Oakville and Burlington. Before we get into those key questions that we're seeing every day, and before we talk about some of the stats, if you like this content, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if there's something in these videos that maybe you agree or you don't agree or you want to challenge me, I'm all good. Put it in the comments, and I'd love to talk about anything and everything related to real estate in Oakville and Burlington. So yeah, a lot of people in this very market, they're asking, should I buy now? Is it going to keep dropping? Are the prices going to get to incredibly low prices that we've never seen? Well, here's the thing. The prices aren't down that much. When we look at the market, and I'm talking like Oakville and Burlington, in some areas, it's actually up a little bit. In most areas, though, on average, yeah, the prices are down about 2%. So when people are asking, should I buy in this market or wait? My honest opinion, I really feel that buying in this market is a good idea if you qualify, first and foremost. But here's 6 reasons why I honestly feel that you should buy in this market. Number 1, there is huge, and I mean like high inventory and very motivated sellers out in the market right now, which is great because that means that you can actually get homes for lower than asking price. Number 2, the prices are super fair in terms of where agents are actually suggesting to list. It's actually a good thing. Like, we're not seeing sellers with these huge expectations. It's actually very fair prices. So I do feel that when you see a home that's price fair, it probably will sell in a decent amount of time. 3, this is huge. There is less buyers in the market. We are down in general, like anywhere from 15 to 30% in sales. So there's a lot of buyers that are just not out there. So if you are a buyer, beat them and go out there and find a deal, because anything can change the minute more buyers comes into the market. Here's another one. Number 4, if you're thinking of buying, I think that if you're looking at an investment or a rental property, there's some great deals out there. I feel that if you're looking for a duplex or a triplex or just a little bungalow, maybe something that you can rent the 2 floors, awesome deals out there. And I do feel that these will increase over time nicely. Number 5, if you're thinking of helping your kids, I think right now is a great opportunity to buy something, whether it's a little condo, a little fixer-upper. If you can afford to buy the second property, I feel that over time in the next few years, it's just going to appreciate very nicely. So if you're trying to help out your kids that maybe you're not sure how they're going to afford a home, rather than keeping all this money in the bank, I mean, invest in some real estate right now, because the prices will go up. And I feel that when the time comes and your kids need a place or they need some equity, this is a great opportunity. And the 6th reason why I do feel you should buy in this market, it's an obvious one. The prices may go up next year. I genuinely think they will. Maybe not a lot, but I do feel that the prices could go up next year. So if you're thinking of buying, there's some key reasons why you should buy. Just don't expect these homes to be given away for free. Now, on the flip side of things, before we get into the stats, if you're thinking of selling, very important in this market, here's 5 tips and 5 reasons. If you're thinking, do not sell unless, number 1, you are 100% aware of this current market. The current market is tricky. It is very tricky. And if agents are not advising and giving clients the right information, it's a very stressful market. So you need to be aware of everything about the market. Number 2, if there's low inventory in your neighborhood, that is awesome. Given how much inventory is in the market, if no listing has come up in your area, and I'm talking like, within like 5 blocks, 8 blocks, that is great. And your chances of getting a fair price is actually a lot higher. Third reason, don't sell if you are not aware of where your home could actually land. So you need to have realistic expectations. If you are trying to get a price just to test the market, this is not a test the market sort of a market. This is here's the data, here's the minimal buyers, and here's where your home could sell. So it's so important that before listing, you need to know what the expectation is of where your home could land. Number 4, do not list your home or sell your home unless you absolutely have to. I know it sounds very broad, but maybe you're downsizing because your current mortgage is too high and you need to get into something smaller. Maybe you're upsizing because the home's not big enough for you and maybe you can afford to get into a higher mortgage. That's okay. Or maybe it's just a lateral move and you're just tired of your home and you want to get to maybe a bigger yard. But again, if you can afford to do it, that's fine. Like there are still sales happening in this market, just not, we're down compared to last year. But you just really need to understand that if you have to, that's okay. And the 5th reason is kind of obvious. I mean, if you've already purchased a home, which can be very tricky and stressful, but if you've already purchased a home and you can financially carry potentially 2 mortgages, then you have to list your home. And in some cases, some people will buy before they sell, which is really tricky and it's stressful. However, everybody's circumstances are different. And I think that if you can afford to do it, that's okay, because if you're buying before selling, it means you've found something amazing. The price is right. And yes, the tricky thing is selling your home after. But those are the tips for you thinking of buying or you thinking of listing. These tips in this market, they should be pretty consistent when you talk to most realtors, okay? So now that we've talked about the main questions, like the market itself, I've been analyzing this quite a bit, and we're not as bad as where some people think, and we're not as bad as where the media might make it seem. And given everything that's happened with all the tariffs and the US and Canada tension and everything happening around us, when I'm looking at these stats, they're not as bad as where they could be. All right, let's talk about the market now. So if we look at Burlington, this is actually very interesting. The month-over-month price of a Burlington detached home went up 9% in June, which is crazy. It's hovering around 1,472,000. The sales, however, did go down 17%. But the good news is new listings actually went down 16% versus the previous month. That's great. For townhouses, it's down 2% versus the previous month, which is hovering around 840,000. And the sales is down 5% versus the previous month. And new listings, this is good news too, it's down 9%. Condos, it's hovering around 583,000, which is huge. And I mean huge the other way. It's down 21% versus the previous month, which is tough, but I'll talk about year to date after to give you some good news. Sales is down 5%, but the new listings, it's actually down 14%, which is great. Now in Oakville, you're hovering around 1,964,000 for a detached home, which is up 1%. Sales, it's down 24%, which is not good. And new listings is down 2%, which is actually good. When we look at the townhouse market in Oakville, it's hovering around 1,017,000. It's actually down 3% versus the previous month. And sales-wise, it's down 19%. New listings is down 5%, which is good news. And for condos, month over month, it's hovering around 827,000, which is down 4% versus the previous month. Now, sales, it's down 22%. And new listings is up 8%. So not good for condos. That's month to month. I know it's a lot of information, and hey, there's always different ways to look at it. So when we look at the year to date information, this is great. This to me is a huge reflection of the market, and I feel that it's very accurate, and it paints the picture a lot better than month to month. So here we go. So Burlington, it's hovering around 1,441,000 for a detached home, and it's down about 4% versus last year. The sales, it's down 15% for detached. If we look at the townhouse market, you're hovering around 860,000, and it's down 3% versus last year. And the sales, it's down a lot. It's down 30%. If we look at the condo market, it's hovering around 658,000, which is actually flat, which is great compared to month over month. I know I gave you a little scare there when I said it was down 21% versus the previous month. Sales, though, is down 29% versus last year. So that's year to date for Burlington. If we look at year to date for Oakville, it's kind of similar in percentages, but an average detached home year to date is around 1,986,000, which is down 2%. Now this one's huge. The sales for detached in Oakville are down 36%. That is huge. The townhouse market, it's hovering around 1,050,000, which is pretty flat versus last year, which is encouraging. However, sales are down 21%. And the condo market is hovering around 770,000, which is actually up 4%. However, sales are down 25%. So if you got anything out of all of these stats, okay, here's the part that you just need to understand about this market. Yes, prices are down in Oakville and Burlington. Not huge. In some areas it's actually flat. In some areas it's up 4% or it's down 4%. So the market's pretty fairish given everything that's going on, right? The interest rates not being fair, political crisis going on, all this uncertainty. And then sales, this is economics, right? Like we've got a lot of inventory, a lot of nervous buyers, nervous sellers. So the sales aren't there. And that's about on average, like anywhere from 15 to 25%. So the minute we start to get some extra buyers, this is the thing, is that our market will change very quickly. Our market has always changed. The minute inventory starts to go down, we do see a lot more buyers out there. So it's honestly like the end of the year, it's going to be interesting to see where it all goes. If we get a couple more rate drops in the next 6 months, that'd be amazing. Maybe even one more. I do feel that right now we still haven't even hit our spring market. And it's unfortunate. We may not get a spring market and we might just get little glimpse of activity. But if you are a buyer, here's my final thoughts. If you are a buyer and you've been thinking for about a year and a half, and you can afford to get out there, it is a great time to get out and start looking. These prices out there are very fair. And I do feel that if you get into a property in this market, you shouldn't regret it, honestly. This is just my opinion based on what I'm seeing. There's some amazing deals. So if you can afford to get into it, I would say get into it. Talk to your mortgage broker, talk to your bank, figure out your numbers, and that's very important. If you're a seller or you're thinking of selling, I gave you lots of tips about whether or not you should consider it. At the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to start a conversation. Right? Let's see if it makes sense. Let's look at your whole picture. Let us put together an analysis of the market. Let us crunch numbers. There is no easy answer at times when people are asking if they should sell. But at the end of the day, it all depends on your situation. I do think that some neighborhoods are still getting really good prices. And as long as you're priced fair in this market, yeah, it may take a lot longer to sell, but overall, you'll be in line and you'll be prepared with all of the outcomes that could happen in this wild market. So I hope this video helps. Honestly, I do this consistently. I look at the market every day, and if there's anything that maybe I missed in this video, please hit me up on a comment. But if you do like this content, don't forget to subscribe, give us the thumbs up, and we live here, and so should you.